This is Craig Anderson. I'm reporting from Joe's Hot Rod Shop. Here's a car Joe's building up for sale. I believe it's a early 60s Impala convertible. It'll just be a small engine, just a cruiser. It's going to be very pretty. Next to it is a original 240Z. That might end up with a big engine in it, or some kind of a Japanese turbo engine. As we go back into the main shop, we see a big Ford pickup truck on the rack. Next to it, a Camaro, probably a 69, don't know for sure. An Eldorado convertible. Another big wheel pickup truck. Any given day you see different projects in this room. The project today is a Honda being converted into a race car. The owner is Joe Tillman, who's on the phone. Not Joe Tillman, but Charles Tillman. And he's building this double overhead cam VTEC engine into a race car engine. If you get the damn shit out of the way, you can see the headers. What? That header is not going to be used. That means that if you want these headers, you can get a hold of them at charlestillman.com. Charles is rebuilding the transmission, which is a 5-speed for this car for race purposes. And he's going to give us the lowdown on how far he's gotten with this. So, Charles, stand right here and tell us about this.
Okay, first of all, you want to take right here. First thing you got to do is you got to pull this cover off. And this is where your shifting happens. This is where your shift linkage sits, and it shifts your gears. Your forks are right in here. Anyways, you want to take that off. Inside that, you're going to find this right here, and this shaft right here slides right in there. Pull that all apart. Then you got to take these two bolts out, and then these two little bolts, which are right here. They're little bolts with ball bearings in them. I don't know if you can see it on the camera.
No,
but you'll find them in there. Okay. Make sure you save them ball bearings.
What's this transmission called?
It's a Honda EURO R transmission.
Euro? E-U-R-O?
E-U-R-O.
Euro, like in European?
Yep, that's right.
So
it comes out of a EURO R Accord.
A EURO R Accord. And what year?
I'd say I think this is like a 97 transmission.
So this is a highly desirable for a high output Honda.
More often than not, people are going to use this for an all-motor build.
Okay.
But anyways, you take those two bolts out, these two bolts out, you undo all the bolts around the case, and then
undo them from what? What does this case bolt up to?
It bolts onto the bell housing right over there.
The bell housing, okay.
And it sits on there just like you see it right now. And underneath there's a little cover right here, and underneath that there's a snap ring you want to spread apart. You'll hear the gear set drop, and you should be able to pull this right off. Once you're done with that, then there's two bolts right here that sit right here that bolt to your bell housing that hold your shift forks in place. Once you get those two bolts out, you can lift your shift forks and both gear sets right out of the transmission. Okay?
Yep.
Once you get that apart, you can stick one of the gears back into the transmission just because it's easier to work on. And this is the counter shaft. And for the counter shaft, you start by undoing this nut on the top. These should just pull right off there, both the bearings. And when you pull a shaft apart, make sure you set it down exactly how it's going to go back on, so you don't misplace or F anything up. And this should just all slide right apart. There should be no resistance, should just slide right apart. And you want to replace your synchros, which are the little brass synchros.
Oh yeah, I see it.
That's what you're replacing when you do the synchros. And you replace this bearing and this bearing right here.
How do you get that out of there?
There's two little 8mm bolts right here.
Oh, yeah.
Pull those out. This is just a little plate to hold it down. This should just wiggle out of there after that.
I see. This is part 2 of Charles Tillman and his Honda transmission. Charles is going to take the counter shaft out, or apart, and re-lubricate and clean it.
Step 1, take the nut off.
That was quick and quiet. My impact gun makes lots of noise.
This is a spring washer, and it's going to be coned like this a little bit. When
And
you
it,
put this,
and it has a lockdown
it has
in
a lock,
it that
so
has to
there's
go
only-
in the
there's can only go on, one way. But you do make sure the cone is pointing upwards like this.
Yeah.
You don't want it dished like this.
Right. And that
So-
that thing doesn't spin because of the lock on it.
Correct.
And
this, you want to just set this right here because that's the first thing you took off.
so you took off the cap, which has a lock kind of little indentation on it. That, and then that other washer. Now
Spring
these,
washer.
yes. Okay.
Next step is to pull these bearings off. Both of these will come together a lot easier than you can trying to get one.
Are they?
This is just the inside of the
Those
second.
bearings are separate. There's 2 bearings.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, well, what's this one? Is that a bearing?
Yes.
Oh, I see what you took off. It's not a sealed bearing. It's a ball bearing that has no,
It's a ball bearing with rollers.
right, rollers. It's okay. It's a roller bearing.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
So then make sure you set that up just how it would go back on. It's next to the bolt.
right.
You want to take everything off one by one. Next thing is, I want to say this is 5th gear. I don't know for sure. But that's the first gear you pull off. 2nd gear, pull off.
What is
This
that
is
part?
a synchro. This is what I'm replacing in the transmission. This
I
is
see.
already a new one. Wait. Yes, this is already a new one. I've already had this apart.
All things are laid out in their correct order. Another synchro.
And just like that, counter shaft is completely apart.
All right. Now, why are you taking it apart?
Because I need to completely clean this from all the grease that's on it. Make sure there's no impurities in the grease. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it down with this engine assembly lube before I slide the gear sets back on.
Okay.
And also I'm going to pack these top 2 bearings full of grease. I'm going to clean them so there's no crap in them, and then I'm going to refill them with Mobil 1 synthetic grease.
Here we are back at Joe's Hot Rod Shop. This is Joe's dad's 62 Harley, and it's not a rebuild. Bought it from Edgeburg's Harley Davidson in 1964, and it's all here and in good shape. Pretty amazing. Now we're going into Joe's Hot Rod Shop. Why, there's Joe! Hi, Joe Tillman. Joe owns this joint.
Yes, I do.
He doesn't talk much, so we're going to move down the road here and see Charlie Tillman. If you get that fender out of my way, I can get through.
I'm busy working.
Hi, Charlie. We're on to part 2 of Charlie Does His Tranny.
That's right.
So tell me again, one more time, what transmission this is.
It's an H22 transmission.
H22
5-speed.
EURO R.
Correct.
You know what Euro stands for?
European.
Does it? Why is it a European transmission in a Honda?
Comes out of a European Accord.
Oh. So how did it get in America?
It was imported.
Okay. So what's the R stand for?
Race.
Okay. What are we doing today?
I'm going to be putting my main shaft back together.
Main shaft. All right, let's now. I was just talking to you. You got the main shaft stuck in a different bearing hole than you had the counter shaft. So.
Yeah, that's because this main shaft goes in this one. Counter shaft goes
Right.
in this
So is that a new bearing in the bottom of that main shaft hole?
one. No.
No.
No, it's not.
How come you didn't replace that?
So I didn't feel the need to.
All right. What are you going to do?
I'm going to put this back together.
Last time you were cleaning the counter shaft. Has this been all cleaned up?
Yep, this has been cleaned up with steel wool.
All right.
Just these parts.
All right.
Just the smooth parts.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So, if you want to see here, this is what was bad. And this is why I had to tear down my transmission, was because this this race was stuck on the counter shaft right there. It was
So let me look at it.
onto it.
This is the outside surface, the
Yes.
bearing race.
Yes.
So the inside surface.
It's a collar is what it's called.
Okay, so it's a collar, and it fits somewhere
Sits
on
right
here, right there. And so the insides of this does not have roller bearings in it.
No.
But the outside was the inside of a race. Where's the?
This is the new one here.
And this is the new one, and it's nice and shiny. It doesn't have.
And here's the needle bearings that go around it.
I see. So the needle bearings are even have a collar to ride on, or whatever you call it, a case.
Yeah, it's a collar.
Okay, cool. Here's the bad one. Disintegrated it. Here's the good one. Nice and new. So you got this out of a different transmission.
Yep.
A junk
Spare transmission.
spare transmission. So you can see the difference between this
these-
shelled out one, which is also cracked.
Well, that's
Or
a
cut.
That's a cut I put in it to try to help to get it off.
I
because It was
see.
seized on there.
I see.
And this is actually out. These two needle bearings and this collar are both out of a different transmission, a different H22 transmission.
Okay.
But they fit. It's all universal.
Right.
Besides the gears and stuff like that. But anyways, first order of business is to put a little bit of assembly lube on everything before I put it back together.
This is the counter shaft that he built yesterday.
this bearing is going to go inside this gear. And this bearing is going to go inside this gear. And alright, now we start assembly. This is the first gear that goes on. I just kind of had these spread apart because of the way I was waiting for this part here. Oh, I forgot a step.
Just like watching porno and smearing the shit on there, huh? Oh, I didn't say that.
Okay, when you put this on, you want to get it on the splines and then just kind of turn everything and kind of give it a little pressure and it'll fall down in place.
Pretty cute.
The next thing is wait a second. Yeah, next thing would be this here. This gear. First I'll slide. No, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that has to go on first. And then, how do you know upside down from backwards?
It doesn't really matter with the collar.
Okay.
It's the same on every side. It's all the exact same.
All right.
Okay. Piece. Then again, when you put the top, the shifting collars or whatever you want to call them,
right?
You got to twist them a little bit till they fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
And that is.
So you got a little recess here. Does this mean that? Does it mean anything? You haven't got it down far enough, or is that just?
I think that's just how it goes.
All right.
All the gaps look good between everything, so.
How? Is there a nut that goes onto this one like there was on the other one? No.
No, there's not. This just sits there. So when you pull it apart, when you pull the transmission apart, this will all just fall right apart.
What are these things?
This is like a guide for when you put the case cover back on.
Okay, so you have to get that lined up.
And I think it.
So that does what? It just
holds that in spot there.
But it doesn't hold the bearing stable, so.
It holds the shaft stable so the gears can spin.
I see.
So when you put the case back on, you want to make sure this lines up with some grooves on the case. I don't know if we can see that.
Where are we going? Clear down in the bottom?
Right here.
Yeah.
There's two little indentations.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can see it on camera.
Not really very well, but you know, we get the impression, the idea. Yeah, there's.
But yeah, you want to make sure that lines up.
Yeah. All right.
And I dropped a bolt. All right.
So now the counter shaft fits next to this thing and they engage each other, I assume.
Yes, they do. You got to put it all in one go kind of deal. Well,
Okay. So this gear here engages both of them. That might be a reverse or something.
Could be, yeah. You know, I'm not 100% sure.
That's got to go sit up here. Now try to turn it. If you disengage this thing, then you can turn the main gear sets. But if this engages, then you can't. Oh, I don't know.
You know, to be honest, I don't either. I'm just kind of winging it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, alright, so I did this wrong.
You did it wrong.
I did this wrong.
All right, that's why we're here. We're going to learn.
Somehow, I'm going to have to pull all of this out.
And those things got to go in at the same time?
These are the shift forks.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They all got to fit at the same time. That can be unhandy.
Makes things a little more difficult, that's for sure.
Good thing they're made out of steel, huh? Hard to break them. This has to come up. Yep.
You want to lift it up again? Stupid gear here keeps messing me up.
Oh, yeah, go straight up. Go straight it up. So you get it up and I'll hold it up. All right, now we're good. Takes two guys. That's right, but I think the shaft itself looks like it probably goes down a little, half an inch more. I'm not sure, but
well, I kind of think it free floats in there, because otherwise how else would it change the gear, you know?
well, these, yeah, okay, I don't know.
Okay, it's pretty much all together.
We're back on. I noticed when during the intermission, Charles put this shifting mechanism together on here, and now he's going to tell me that he fucked it up.
Okay, so I fucked up because before you throw your gear sets in, you want to throw your differential in. Otherwise it doesn't fit in there.
Otherwise, it doesn't fit in there. So it comes apart. Well, that was all right. That's how we learn.
That's right.
We fuck things up. As long as it's not broken, we're good.
Yep.
Do it. I think you got to unbolt those shifter mechanism first.
It is.
Oh, it is.
It's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. All right. All right. This is called a differential, and that is what you normally call the rear end of a car, a differential. So this is a front-wheel drive car, and the differential is inside the tranny case. I've never looked in one of these, so this is all news to me.
Yeah. So that goes like that. It's comfortable for you to stand, but I gotta be able to get this right in there.
Okay, after a lot of messing around, we got the differential gear and the two gear clusters together.
You're gonna have to move this.
And now we're going to
Keep going. It's gotta go up quite a ways.
put the shifter forks in place.
Pull them both the same.
I'm trying.
Here, how about?
they gotta-
Here, no, you throw this in. I'll lift up the gear.
It's gotta go in that lower shift collar, right?
It's gotta go in this hole right here,
And then that shift collar.
and then this shift collar.
There you go.
Go
That's how
higher,
you do it. Nope, you're good.
Pull this fucking little gear over here. Perfect. There we go. That
Okay.
shift forks in. You have to do the same thing with this one. Oh.
Here's some things we learned on the last, during the intermission. This thing goes down, and this
Make sure that the ring
yes.
is on top on the bearing.
The ring goes on top, and that there's a little bit of proudness. The nut, the shaft
Make
sticks
sure
up.
the shaft goes all the way down the nut so you can see part of the shaft on top of it.
Yeah, you're better with words than I am.
You still recording?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, here we go with the next
They gotta go
couple of
together in there like this?
forks.
No, they'll go together. And they'll both go in that hole there.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll see once you get them out.
This has got to come up too.
Can you get them on there and down in the hole? Go down or?
Yeah, go down.
Oh, we're off on the top one.
It's gotta come down in order to get in the hole.
It's almost.
You're binding on the gear.
Yeah, the counter shaft's not bad. Help me with the shift fork.
There it went.
Here we go. Shift forks are on.
Everything's got to slide in at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things have to slide in all at the same time.
Now we put this piece on. That goes right here. And
This gear goes up into those two slots right there.
make sure this little pin's in there too.
And there's this peg sticking out that goes into a channel there. It's all very mechanical. Back in the days when everything was mechanical.
There we go. Just got tight runs down. Only do it a little bit with that. Definitely don't want to tighten it with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to look online and make sure the torque specs for this before I torque those down.
All right. So we're coming to an end of the second day of putting this tranny together. Eventually this case will just slide right over the top and everything will drop into place.
That's right.
That bearing that was on the top of that shaft over there is now in the case.
That's where it needs to be when you put it back together.
Yes. So, end of phase 2.